Hey, what's going on, everybody? Did a Korg intro for you guys this time. Let's talk about this awesome news, though, everybody. I mean, I know you guys have all seen it today. You heard it today. Tamara Morrison has been cast for The Mandalorian Season 2, and I'm reading directly off the Deadline website right now. Jango Fett actor Tamara Morrison to play Boba Fett. And I trust Deadline to a T. I know you guys, if you really know me, you know that I love Deadline. Like, they're my go-to source for all the news, all the reporting. They're accurate. So I'm glad they reported this awesome news. Thanks for dropping in. Anybody who's dropping in tonight, feel free to talk about it in the comments. Boba Fett, everybody, cast in Mandalorian Season 2. So what does this mean? That means that he survived the Sarlacc pit, everybody, in the Return of Jedi. Oh my God, man. I am so excited, everybody. If you see me looking down a little bit, it's because I'm actually looking right at the Deadline article right now. I just want to be sure that, my sources are up to date and make sure everything is correct. But I know that they just reported it. So, wow, I gotta say, I'm very, very excited for this news. And this comes after learning that Ahsoka Tano will be involved with The Mandalorian Season 2 as well. Gosh, it's just like one thing after another. Like, Star Wars is just melting our hearts. I know if you guys like Star Wars out there, you probably saw the last episode of the Star Wars, the Clone Wars, and oh my goodness, what an emotional last episode. I mean, wow. Oh my goodness. I couldn't believe what I saw in that last episode. It really changed Order 66, Revenge of the Sith. Like, it changed everything about what happened to Anakin Skywalker in Revenge of the Sith for me. Like, it completely gave it a bigger meaning at this point. Like, we get to see we just get to see a side of Anakin that we haven't seen before. So I really highly encourage you to watch Star Wars: The Clone Wars if you haven't seen it yet. But going back to the Boba news, like, wow, I'm super excited. Tamara Morrison hasn't really done too much since then, I don't think. I mean, he was an Aquaman. I know he was a Dora, but he was Aquaman's father. Like, he hasn't done too much, but it would be great to have him back as Boba Fett. A couple of sources are saying that it's not for sure confirmed, though, which is what I was trying to read up. But seems to me that there would be no other role he could play unless, and this is a long shot, he was Captain Rex. But I don't think that's the case. That's a long shot, but like, I think Rex will be too old at this point. But guys, weigh in. Let me know what you think about that news. I mean, geez, it's just a heavy hitter on us today. Let me tell you, I probably should have shot a video, but I decided to do a Tower of God review. So check that anime out. But man, guys, this is just so exciting. So exciting. Like, it is so exciting to be living in a time where we get to explore so much in the Star Wars galaxy. Mandalorian is getting to hit all these different corners of the galaxy that we haven't even seen yet. So I'm just so excited for how exploratory of a show this is, that we're going to get to see Boba Fett again. My question is, how much is he going to be involved? Are we talking, because I'm seeing appearance floated around a lot here. So are we talking we're getting to see Boba Fett a ton? Are we talking Boba Fett is going to be a lead character? Like, how much Boba Fett involvement are we talking here? That's my biggest question. Is it a flashback? Is it Mando bumps into him? Like, what are we going to get? How much Boba Fett are we getting, guys? Like, let us know. What's going on, guys? I see I got a couple viewers in here. Feel free to weigh in the comments, guys. This is a discussion, so feel free to weigh in. Boba Fett news, big news today. What's going on, my cheese bro? What up, Chris? Thanks for coming out, man. I was just talking about Boba Fett, and oh my gosh, like, I gotta say, this is just big news, big news. I'm really excited to see Boba coming back. Again, that means that he survived the Sarlacc pit in Return of the Jedi. or maybe, and that's why I'm like being a little bit careful here, because I'm like, all right, in what capacity are we seeing Boba Fett? I mean, Favreau didn't come out and say, well, he's survived. Let me check his Twitter before I before I say that. But I really want to see exactly what. Sorry guys, I'm looking up his Twitter. I wanted to see exactly how involved he's gonna be. Like how much Boba Fett are we gonna get? Okay, so Favreau hasn't posted. I don't think anybody's posted and confirmed that he's alive. So that's where I'm a little lost. But I hope we get to like bump into him. We get to see that he survived the Sarlacc pit, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. It doesn't mean he for sure survived. I'm just glad that we get a glimpse of him anyway, and we get Ahsoka Tano. Like two powerhouse characters who I would argue we've gotten a lot of Ahsoka. I mean, a ton, but we haven't gotten a lot of Ahsoka in this era of Star Wars, of course, because continuity. But I will say we barely got any Boba, so this is going to be a great time to revisit Boba Fett a little bit, catch up to him, see what how he got out of the Sarlacc pit. My backpack's got jets. I'm Boba the Fett. Dude, I'm so psyched out for this news. Like, oh my God, like, whew, finally. It just, Mando is exploring so many corners of the galaxy and is hitting so many positive notes with Star Wars fans, even fans who didn't like the series after The Last Jedi. I'm talking to you, Chris. There are definitely people who didn't like that movie that love The Mandalorian, and I love how The Mandalorian feels so much like the original trilogy. I mean, to the point where they were actually grabbing set pieces from the original trilogy and bringing them into The Mandalorian. It just feels like the trilogy. Like, it feels like the originals. It feels so good to be back in that feeling, because, listen, I'm not going to judge anybody for what trilogy they enjoy the most, but me, as a Star Wars fan, a diehard Star Wars fan, you guys know I've read the comics. I've watched all the movies over and over. I've watched Clone Wars. I've watched Rebels. I got to say, it's just an honor to be in the original trilogy again. Like, the original trilogy is by far my favorite. And that's because, of course, the storytelling is just so much stronger. But for me, it's the revelations when Luke figures out that Vader's his father. Even to this day, is still such a great story beat. And Leia, figuring out Leia's his sister. Like, man, it's crazy to me. Crazy. OG, bro. No doubt. Like, that trilogy I could watch over and over and over and over, man. Like, it's timeless. It's wonderful. And it's just a great trilogy. And I know a lot of people, what they say about the original series is, oh, the lightsaber battles aren't as, but I'm like, look, the original trilogy and the original Star Wars, it wasn't really about like fancy lightsaber battles. It was about samurai movements and peace of the mind. You know what I mean? It wasn't really all about the lightsabers. It was about the connection with the Force and how powerful in the Force you are as well. And I know the prequel trilogy was a lot about the lightsaber battling and really expanded on that. And I appreciate the prequels for that. But we got to remember that original trilogy, Yoda wasn't even using a lightsaber. So we got to remember the originals where they were at the time. And plus the technology that Lucas didn't really have access to at that point. He even had ideas that technology wasn't caught up with. So, you know, we got to remember the original OG trilogy is fantastic. And even though the lightsaber battles aren't as crazy, it's because of the technology at the time and what Star Wars was at the time. It wasn't on the scale that it is now. It was just the original trilogy. So we got to cut them some slack. I like the new trilogy as well. I do like the prequel trilogy, especially after watching the Clone Wars, though. I think I like the lore of the prequel trilogy. I'm fascinated with the Anakin Darth Vader storyline. Like, that is just a story I keep going back to over and over and over. And, you know, I guess what my point about all this is, it's a good thing that The Mandalorian is bringing the feeling back of the original trilogy. It feels good. Like we feel like we're kind of back in the motherland, if you will. Like it just kind of feels like a return to the originals, and it feels so nice to explore the lore of the Mandalorians. So much unexplored territory there. Really hoping they borrow from Legends, because it seems to me like Jon Favreau's a huge Star Wars fan. Filoni's only going to be directing one episode of this next season, but he's a huge Star Wars fan. So I think we're going to really get a lot of Legends lore in this series. Now, I don't know how much, and obviously that's no kind of promise, but I think we're going to get little bits and pieces here and there, and it's going to be very fun for us deep fans that are like, oh my God, that's this person, that's that person. That's like, we'll like being able to kind of just see those little Easter eggs is so joyous. Oh my goodness. But guys, Ahsoka Tano getting her in the series, Rosario Dawson. I want to know you guys' thoughts on that. I think she's actually fantastic for the role, especially at this point. Ahsoka's a little older. I'm wondering if they're going to doctor her up and age her a little bit, you know, with makeup and such. Because Ahsoka, let me go to the Yoda's data pad. Let's see with the ages, because I don't know if Ahsoka's on there. Let's see. No, she's not. Crap. So yeah, I was sorry, guys. I was looking up the age of Ahsoka. So at this point, somebody correct me here if I'm wrong. She's got to be in her 50s at this point. I mean, we're looking at. I'll look at other ages here. So Anakin around episode 3. So probably about 20. So at 22 at the end of the Clone Wars, and episode 6. 45. So that's 23 years. And what is this? 5 years later. So 28 years. Ahsoka was what? 16, 17? I think something like that. So yeah, she's got to be up in those upper 40s, 50s. But correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm reaching here. I'm reaching. But Ahsoka, again, has got to be in those 40s, 50s. This is the perfect time for, you know, her to be Rosario Dawson's age. So, and obviously, Rosario Dawson is younger than that, which is why I said they're going to make up and age her a little bit. But it's perfect. I think it's a perfect casting. Ahsoka Tano is going to be great, and especially you got Ahsoka coming in and having some involvement. You've got Boba Fett coming back. And then there was another update, guys, that I saw on Reddit the other day. And obviously, Reddit we can take with a grain of salt. Desmond Lawrence, what's up, man? OG, always with the OG Star Wars, man. But one more piece of news that I got from Reddit. And like I said, take it with a grain of salt, guys. Grain of salt. Supposedly, there are other Jedi involved in the series. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. This was all based on a speculation, based on like a cast set photo. So I'm not for sure if this is actually, you know what I mean, if this is real or not. Like, I don't know how much weight this has. I don't know if this is true, but supposedly more Jedi appear in Mandalorian. And the way I feel about that is I don't think I would like it as much, to be honest. I think Mandalorian explores other parts of the galaxy that we want to see. We've seen the Jedi stories so much. Like, we have 9+ movies. Like, come on, man. The Jedi lore is great and all, but I want to explore some more stuff. Like, I would be very excited to dive deeper into Ahsoka, of course, and others, but a bunch of Jedi, like, at this point, a lot of people think that the Jedi stuff is a myth. So it would be awesome to just have boots on the ground and explore the rest of the series and the lore that it has to offer. It's got so much rich lore. So it would be amazing to explore the galaxy without really even having to touch the Jedi. But guys, I'm wrapping up a little bit early. I am extremely tired after a long day at work, but thank you so much to all that came out. Chris, Desmond, I've seen a couple of you other guys peeking here and there. So thank you guys so much for coming out. I just wanted to talk about this real quick and celebrate this amazing news that came with The Mandalorian. Oh my goodness, so much great news coming, I'm sure. And Boba Fett Season 2. Oh my goodness. Ahsoka Tano season 2 and possibly more Jedi, but I'm kind of hoping that's not the case. Guys, we will see you on the next video.